Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is important for sociology. We are going to learn about social processes. Social processes are the everyday interactions through which individuals and groups relate to each other. They can be positive, negative, cooperative, or conflict based. So in this video, we will cover competition, conflict, accommodation, assimilation, tolerance, compromise, superordination and subordination, integration, isolation, and more. Let's make everything simple. Let's get into it. What are social processes? Social processes are the repetitive forms of interaction between individuals or groups that shape social relationships and social structure. These processes guide how people cooperate, compete, fight, adjust, integrate, separate. Social processes explain how society works and changes. Let us understand competition. Competition is a social process where two or more individuals or groups strive independently to achieve a goal that cannot be shared. For example, students competing for marks, businesses competing for customers, political parties competing for power. The features of competition are indirect struggle, no direct confrontation, and motivates progress. Effect is that it leads to innovation but also creates stress. Let us understand the conflict. Conflict is a direct struggle where individuals or groups try to defeat or harm each other to achieve their goals. For example, strikes and protests, fights between workers and management, wars, family disputes. Conflict means direct confrontation. It is emotional and intense. It can break social unity but can also lead to social change like revolutions, reforms. Now let's look at accommodation. Accommodation is a process where people adjust to each other to avoid conflict and maintain harmony. For example, peace agreements, compromise between political parties, roommates adjusting to each other's routines. There are three types of accommodation: compromise, tolerance, and cooperation after conflict. It restores peace, reduces tension, and is essential in a diverse society. Now let us look at assimilation. Assimilation is when two or more cultural groups blend into one culture, losing their original distinct identities. For example, immigrants adopting the host country's culture, or tribal communities adopting modern lifestyle, or linguistic assimilation in cities. It's a long-term process and involves sharing values, language, lifestyle. It creates unity but can also lead to loss of cultural identity. Now let's look at tolerance. Tolerance means accepting differences among people. For example, respecting religious diversity, allowing different opinions, or adjusting to cultural differences. It is essential in multicultural societies. It reduces social tension and encourages peaceful coexistence. Tolerance is the foundation of democracy and pluralism. Now let's look at compromise. Compromise happens when each side gives up something to reach an agreement. For example, employer and employee agreeing on salary, family members deciding together on an issue, or political alliances. It avoids conflict. Compromise creates cooperation and helps in negotiation-based systems. Now let us look at super-ordination and subordination. These terms explain hierarchical relationships. Super-ordination means dominance or authority of one group or person over others. For example, employer over employees, teacher over students, government over citizens. Power may be legal, political, economic, or social. Subordination. It means the lower position in a hierarchy. For example, workers obeying instructions, children following parents, junior staff under senior officers. These relationships can be either fair or oppressive depending on the system. Now let's look at integration. Integration is the process of combining individuals and groups into a unified whole. For example, national integration in India despite diversity, different communities living together, or merging schools or institutions. It basically promotes unity, reduces social distance, and strengthens national identity. Next, let us look at isolation. Isolation is the process where individuals or groups are cut off from social interaction or the larger society. There are 4 types of isolation: geographical, that is living in remote areas; social isolation, that is caste-based or racial segregation; cultural isolation, that is based on linguistic or religious isolation; and individual isolation, that is introversion or rejection, etc. Examples: tribal groups living away from mainstream society, or social exclusion of minorities or isolated prisoners. It basically slows down the development. It can create misunderstanding and reduce integration. Let us look at the other social processes from everyday life. Cooperation, working together for a common goal, that is group projects. Accommodation, we already covered, adjusting after the conflict. Socialization, learning norms and values from family and school. Acculturation, that is borrowing cultural traits from another culture. And diffusion, that is spread of ideas, customs, and technology from one society to another. To conclude, today we learned about the major social processes that shape social interaction. These are competition, conflict; accommodation, assimilation; tolerance, compromise; super-ordination and subordination; integration, isolation. These processes explain how people relate to each other, how societies maintain order, how conflicts arise, and how unity is built. If this video helped you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.